And of course, again, it is coaching section with me, Elk. And joining us today is Charles Vanderpool, the head coach and assistant coach of Barbados senior national team, and also the head coach of the Celtics. And also, of course, with me again is Avenger only one, that is Elan Phillips. And we'll go right ahead. Now, in the off season, Charles, I mean, like, it was a big buzz around basketball. This Celtics group that got put together. So I want to start from the beginning. How did you get this? First thing, how you got a job? How that went about, and how then did you go about getting your players?
Well, to be honest, the players were there before me. And I was asked by one of the members on the team and also someone from the Celtics organization from before if I would be interested in coaching them. And basically, yeah, I told them, yeah, well, I looking to get into coaching. And plus, I had just had a surgery on my elbow. So I knew I wasn't going to be playing this year for sure. So it just seemed like everything was falling into place. So I told them, yeah.
Okay. So the players were there before you got there, and then you got the word, and I mean, like, it
Yeah,
was a real buzz.
like
Everybody was talking about
60%,
the transfer
60% of the
windows. And
players.
go ahead.
There was like 60% of players, one or two were on the fence, still waiting to confirm.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Right. So you came, you got the players. What I want to know is, did the season go as you anticipated?
For the most part, I expected the top four to be who the top four are right now. Um, I knew it would have been a lot for us in sense of being a new team and seeing how we're going to cope with the whole dynamics of a whistle and building an identity and different things like that. And I think we are not where we want to be, but I think we are where we should be right now, based on the league itself, the games we had, and how we competed against the top four teams, and the improvement that I see that we can make going forward.
Okay. All right. What's your question? Avenger only one.
Yeah, well, first off, right? No, I when the all season buzz was happening, I have some, sources, right? So I knew some of what was going on all around the thing, right? So, but obviously I can't say I didn't want to ruin the big surprise, right? But I knew some of what that was going on, right? A good. I can't give up my sources, right? You can't give up your sources, right?
We wouldn't want you to do that.
Yeah, that's my business. All right. So
Yeah.
my first question, right? Y'all are. I checked the stats. You know me and stats, Charles. Y'all last in assists. So I want to know if you think the ball is being spread around as much as you would like so far.
But I think assists has two ends, right? The people passing it and then the people completing the play to make the assist. If you look at
Correct.
our pointing, especially from trees, it's probably below 20%. So it's going to be quite hard to get assists when that is happening. And we show a high volume of threes. So if you look at the makeup of the team and the way how we play, I'm not surprised. And that's why I'm still a bit optimistic because our assists can improve and our shooting percentage can improve. So therefore, we have a lot of room for growth. So it's not alarming to me. It's not really a gray area because I know where we need to improve on, but I think we are passing the ball good enough. It can be improved. And I think every game we play, it is improving. Well, the passing part. The shooting percentage part, we already get that part figured out yet. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Okay. And this next question. We would have talked about this before in terms of offensive rebounding, right? We talked about the scheme that you said that you wanted to try because I think you had implemented it from your time when you were with the national team, right? In terms of everybody crashing. Now, I don't know if you're still doing that, but you're first in offensive rebound. So the scheme that you employ so far, are you happy with the results so far?
I still think we could do better, crashing offensively. Even although we first, if I'm being honest, I still think we could do better. But it is an adjustment shift. Coming from Barbados and the way how we learn basketball is that you always have 2 to 3 rebounding and the rest as defensive balance. So now to get players to try to shift and commit fully, it's not that they don't want to, it's just that you revert back to habits. So
Correct.
sometimes you don't crash with the force that it would like us to crash with offensively. But I'm not surprised that we are first offensive rebounding, and we don't really have any per se go get it type of rebounders, but we're relentless with it. So I would say I'm pleased.
Okay.
But again,
okay.
I think we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So now you're 4th place. You lost to the 3 teams ahead of you. You beat the 3 teams below you, and the 4 teams below you. What's next for the Celtics? How do you see this season going?
Well, with all things held equal, I expect the second round to be fairly along the same lines, but I want to improve on the way we play those games. The losses we had to Pinelands, to Station Hill, and to Clapham, I think we can adjust and not even looking at the other team, the referees, nothing like that. Just looking at ourselves personally, I think there's a lot that we can do there to change the outcome of those games. So in the second round, I'm even looking for a better record than we would have gotten in the first round.
Oh, that would be great. At least that would be moving in the right direction. Now, you have we break now for the league, and we have this President's Cup, and you're first up on Thursday thing against Lakers. Well, you blow Lakers the first time, so I am not sure how that will go, but I would if I was a betting person, and I don't really bet, I would say that you are starting ahead of the game against Lakers. How do you see that game going?
I think it's going to be interesting because I think we did a very good job last game, but I know the Lakers coaching staff, they're going to review the game and try to see what little edge they could get based on how the last game went. I know Keith didn't play. I'm not sure. I heard he did play 1 game earlier in the season. So I know that if he does play, it's going to change the dynamics of the game also a little bit. But obviously my plan is to beat them again. And
right. So you will have them 2 games in this President's Cup. So so it's just to win those 2 games and then go on to the semifinal.
Right. And all playing out how it should in the semifinals, we were matching it against Pinelands, which not overlooking the fact that we have to play Lakers first, but I am excited to play Pinelands as many times as possible within the season. That's the only undefeated team, and I think the more times we get to play them, the better for us, even in just competing wise and seeing what we're made of, and even trying to build a chemistry in that tough environment as playing the only undefeated team in the tournament right now.
Okay. Well, a former assistant coach with Pinelands unofficially, and the coach of Celtics. We also know that Charles had a stint overseas. He was one of the players that had NCAA experience. So he's also the assistant coach in the national team, and we wish him all the best. Hope that. I hope
Are you wishing the best? Are you wishing the best? Are you wishing? Nah, kidding.
All the best.
I wish you the best.
I wish you the best.
Elon might not want to wish you the best, but I wish you the best. You can wish one fellow the best, but you will want better for yourself, right? So wish you the best is not a problem. I wish you the best. My only issue this season is that because of the shakeup, then there's still only 4 teams really in the tournament, but the other teams have to decide that how they will play and how they will get their teams together and get better. So thank you very much, Charles Vanderpool. That's his head coach of the Celtics. And I know you have practice, so now you are free to leave, sir.
Yes, I have to go and prepare for my knockout game against Lakers.
Oh, okay. You have a good evening, sir.
All right, enjoy. Thank you.
All right, yeah, bye.
Yeah, Charles.
So, Keelan, just let we have a brief review of the season. Now, in the Bear tournament, right now the finals are 7-0. Cavaliers, they had a close game with Cavaliers. They're 6-1.
Yep.
Right, and then there's I think there's Bulls with 5-2.
Correct.
And then there's the same Celtics with 4-3, and then there's 3 teams at 2-5.
Teams at 2-5. I want to know what's happening. Yeah.
And then one fella that ain't in a game yet. Right. So I want you to tell me how do you see this these shake-up? I know that Rashid, we interviewed Rashid, and Rashid said that he's ready to win back-to-back. He sure looks like he can win back-to-back. So how do you see the season? How do you see that first round?
Yeah, first round was pretty interesting. In terms of, I think, yeah, we already know how the we can already gauge how the top 4 and the bottom 4 would be. But my interest is still to see how some teams play each other, how some teams look, or whatever. So that was what I mean, but it was still interesting in some regard. For example, we were wondering earlier how far Lakers maybe are away from the top 4. If they're closer to Warriors or closer to Celtics. And in my opinion, I think they're closer to Celtics than Warriors, based obviously on the fact that they blew out Warriors. I think the thing that's gonna really hurt Lakers the most is that first loss to Schoolboys, because now they have, even if they were to somehow beat Celtics in the second round, they have to hope that Celtics lose again to one of the they would have to, Lakers would have to beat one of Pine, Cavs, and Bulls in order to have a chance to go through, right? And they would also have to beat Celtics by more than they beat them. So I think that first game, if they had won, it would have, maybe made it a little bit more interesting in terms of their goals of making the top 4. But everything else, Warriors, as I said, they have 2 wins, so they're pretty much safe. Schoolboys, they can't get any more, but they have 2 wins. In terms of the top 4, I actually have a little tidbit. I have a stat for each of the top 4 that they're actually first in. Pioneer are first in offense in terms of points per game. Cavs are first in defense. They allow the least amount of points. Celtics are first in offensive rebounding, and I think maybe second or first overall in rebounds. And Bulls are first in 3-point percentage and field goal, right? So each of them have something that they lead the league in, which could be their thing that they can lean on, right? Obviously, they're good at other things as well, because like Bulls, for example, are second in both points and points allowed, right? So they're overall a very solid team. So it's just little things like that could be interesting. Just head playing is more of an offensive base, but they can still be very good on defense. Cavs very good at defense. They could bring out games. Bulls shoot a good percentage, good on both ends. And Celtics still a slight work in progress, but they get a lot of shot attempts with their offensive rebounding. So
yeah, my worry if I need the top 4. My worry for teams like Bulls and Celtics and Pinelands is the thinness of their bench. You see, it is fine a 1 game blow a fella, but if you get like a 3 best of 5 series, then you really have to go to your bench and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You can have we can have some issues. They could have issues because although Jeremy is coming off their bench, and also Jeremy Gill, and also that Junior Moore. But Kadeem Braffett, I think, coming off their bench as well. And
Hall
then
too.
right. And Hall. Hall is coming
Yeah.
off the bench. He's
Sometimes he starts, sometimes he's not on the bench. So
right.
it depends.
So
Yeah.
so but the thing is, to me, the bench are all the benches are fairly thin. I may say thin, I don't mean in personnel me per se, but also in production. If you look at the teams, you will see that the bench production is far, like, usually your bench production will be lower than your starting production
Yeah.
because your best players usually start. But some
Yeah.
of the bench production is really, I mean, like, take one game, playing score over 100 points and the bench score like, 15, right? So, like, is the bench production, I would be a little suspect, but this Barbados basketball, I mean, like, it's
Yeah.
only now that we starting to really look at things like statistics and points
Yeah.
in paint and really looking at those sort of things. So if the teams look and see where some of the teams are soft and try to exploit it, then then it should be interesting. But I know that you're supposed to come up with the Bulls. I think if you come back and you're healthy enough to play, that they would have somebody coming off the bench. But I watched them in the game against Celtics, and nothing solid came off the bench. It was more like to give people a spell of 2 minutes to then to go back on for the starter to go back on. So that in a series that will be that you would like coming down to game 4,
Yeah.
game
Fine.
3, game 4, game 5,
Yeah.
and you play your starters doing many minutes, right? They can really start to
To
pile up.
wear on your last. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be my only worry for the trail to the top 4. I think Cavs is player Cavs basketball.
Yeah.
Aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. When they miss, they hit the boards hard. So
Yeah.
they still got their identity and they still know how they want to play. So they're not going to score 100 points on the good
Yeah.
teams, but they're sure going to hold them on the 100 points, on the 70 points, on the 80 points in a game. So
Yeah.
Cavs to me got an edge in that area, but I would not count out Pylons. I would not count out Bulls. I think those two teams are those 3 teams. I don't even count out Celtics. But I think those 3 teams really it will boil down to who wanted more and who made the adjustments. Because I think the last year final, I think Bush should have learned from last year final because I think they played their starters a little too many minutes. So coming down to the end
Yeah.
of the
It was a
coming down
little.
any thought they really didn't have anything left. I mean, Pointless was barely, barely better than them because of some of their parents and people that had experience. And
Yeah.
but it was very interesting. But I still feel Cavs will be in the mix. And any time a team is good defensively, they will be in the mix.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. In terms of um the problem, well, not the problem. Yeah, I guess you could say what kind of holds Cavs back all the time. Like their defense and style of play is always enough to keep them in games for the most part, like 90-something% of the time. The problem often is can their offense keep up with some of the better teams? I think that's the problem between or the reason why they probably haven't gone over the hump over the last couple of years. Like they've always either been like sitting here every year or a threat or a contender to win, but I think because they also don't score or like have enough firepower to contend with the others, that's sometimes why they maybe don't get over the hump. Like at the end of the day, defense is I know it's so funny coming from me. Defense is very good, right?
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, scores don't finish 10 on, score don't finish 0-0. So you gotta be able to put the ball in the
Be able to
basket.
put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, and the other teams like Pine and even Bulls have shown the ability to just do it a little bit better than Cavs, and that's why I think they edged them out over the last couple of years.
Okay. So that is the Bay Championship, the Premier League, and a little preview of the President's Cup. And right now we will be joined by Alan Pinder, the Bajan Scout, as he speaks about the NBA. And of course, yes, we are here with Bajan Scout Alan Pinder. He's the man, when it comes to the NBA. So, Alan, the Milwaukee Bucks, they made a shift in the season. They changed their coach. I think Milwaukee had the second best record in the NBA. They changed the coach to bring in Doc Rivers, and alas, they are struggling. Do you think that they will be able to turn it around like how Ty Lue turned it around when Harden came?
I don't know. They've been off to a pretty bad start so far. However, it seems that what people thought was impossible has been possible. The defense seems to have improved significantly over the last 10 games. Strangely enough, is the offense has fallen off a cliff. I think the offense's efficiency is like 20th or something like that. So, well, I'm inclined to say no. I don't think they'll turn around. I think there may be a glimmer of hope if these defensive numbers can hold, and if they could find a way to score, can you figure with Dame and with Giannis on your roster, the offense should be a lot better than what it is. So I think there's some hope there. I mean, Doc is not a great offensive coach. You can see how good Philadelphia is scoring now with Nick Nurse compared to how they were scoring with Doc Rivers. Joel Embiid talks about how much nicer the offense is, instead of have to ISO in all the time and have a lot of movement stuff around him. So I think there's a chance, because we didn't think that he could improve the defense at all, and the defense seems to actually have improved significantly. So if that holds and Dame and Giannis could find a way to score, I mean, Dame was scoring at will at this All-Star weekend. So I think there's a small chance, but some of these losses are really bad. That loss, but at the community All-Star break was terrible as well. So it doesn't look good, but I think there's a small glimmer of hope that, there might be some later on the corner. Hopefully it's not a train.
Okay. Yeah, usually when people see light coming, right, it might not be light, it might be a train. Yeah, so Keelan, what do you think? You think that Doc Rivers could really turn this around and probably, end up being like the second best record? I still feel that Boston is the best team in the East.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much along the lines with Alan. It's a small chance. I'm not counting out a Dame and Giannis centered team. However, it's just like to change. It could have been the greatest coach of all time. To change this deep into the season is always going to be a struggle. That's why it's not just why who they fired and who they hired. It's like a why this late, right? That was also the question too, because to change this late is often always a struggle. Like, putting in your offense in the middle of a season. Contrary to what casual people or fans may think, but NBA teams don't really get to practice a lot. They don't is like they have I've seen interviews where players talk about they had like their first practice in like a month. Like they would have shoot-arounds, like walk-throughs, like what they would talk about, like for various teams. But actual practice where they get into to work on stuff, it doesn't really happen that often. So to implement that, I guess they were kind of happy for the All-Star break. They need to go through some stuff for the team, maybe a reset. But my thing is, all right, they wanted the defense to improve. Doc is a defensive coach. The offense has struggled significantly, yes, because it's not really an offensive coach. My thing is, if you wanted the team to be defensive centric, in my opinion, then you shouldn't have traded away Jrue Holiday. Like, I feel like if you wanted the defense to be thing and then just work on the offense, I feel like you could have just kept Jrue Holiday and tried to change the system, make it a little bit different offensively, instead of trading for an offensive player and then hoping that you still Jrue Holiday. Because what was happening is that, yes, they were saying the offense wasn't as good as they think it should have been. And that may be fair, but they were still second in offense. yes, they had an easy schedule, the easiest schedule to start, but they were still the second best record in the East already. Yeah, in the East. So it's like they made a switch for offensive player and they were an offensive geared team. So like if you wanted a defensive minded team with good offense, then I think you should have stayed with Drew Holiday and stop complaining. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm from the camp of being a coach and went through coaching certifications, a myriad of them. And one of the things they always talk about is being unconscious competence. And you don't get unconscious competence by telepathy. It is by, it is by constantly doing the same thing, repetition. And if you are not getting chance to do that repetition, you are not going to get to the level that you want to be at. And I think that that is their biggest problem right now. It's already nice and fine. You have names. This body could score. They got, they have X amount of points per game. But then you gotta get everybody working together and scoring and then playing. Everybody on that team has a goal or objective for a season. And it may not be with the team goals. So, there's a lot of things, dynamics that is have when you train. So to change the coach in the middle of the season, unless you were horrible, right? To change the coach in the middle of the season when you had like second best record, I think it was in the East or all of basketball. I can't remember, but to have such a good record and then change the coach, I am not sure. I'm not sure what the thinking is in Milwaukee, to be honest with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. It did happen with David Blatt when the Cavs fired him and brought in Tyronn Lue. What helped there though is that Lue was an assistant on the staff already. So
it was an easy transition over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helped with the continuity a bit to bring someone entirely fresh, Well, then again,
who has to
actually,
assistants and stuff.
Because that was a consultant, consultant. Sorry.
Yeah. So I guess that was kind of on the staff, but
it's
still new system, which is hard.
Yeah, because like with the Ty Lue situation is like they still I think pretty much kept the same offensive system. I guess it was just a different voice. Yeah, he would have tweaked those things, but like generally it was the same. So like I don't like one-off examples as like the norm. I'm not saying that any of us are saying that, but like also Ty Lue had very in prime LeBron James. So I'm not saying that Giannis is bad. Giannis is very elite, but it also took a historic 3-1 comeback for them to even win. So don't play anything. I'm just saying how aware of a situation is to change head coaches and still win. So
yeah. What I agree with too also is that Ty Lue had more respect for the players than David Blatt because Blatt made his name overseas. And I never thought that LeBron really was, on board with the Blatt hiring, right?
Yeah.
So, but Blatt is a real decent coach. He has won everywhere he went. So, but the NBA is about relationships and that sort of stuff. So, I think that's where Blatt had his issues. I don't think his issues had anything to do with offense, defense. His issues had with that he was not part of the NBA culture. And they didn't see him as a person who, we went overseas, but they look at overseas like, blah, they went overseas, so what? But I think Blatt was a decent coach. I am going to answer you. I'm not convinced Ty Lue is that good. So
really,
I'm not convinced.
I'm definitely
everybody.
Listen,
everybody could. If you give me the team that he has now, I don't think I can mess that up. Right?
Yeah, you'll be surprised.
No,
not saying you. I'm not saying you.
I couldn't mess that up even if I tried. So
I that's a whole different.
I am a different. I look at basketball different. I say from a coach's perspective. To me, when a fella could build something and build it in all circumstances, like sport, like sports, right? I mean, like you can't say that Erik Spoelstra is not a good coach. He coached LeBron and then he coached Caleb Martin. You understand? And they did well. But to me, in the NBA, the top coaches, they look at, the players, if you won a championship, you start with a plus. If you used to play for a certain franchise, you start with a plus. Sometimes it is good to have good people on your staff because they also felt that Phil Jackson had Tex Winter. And so it's always good to got good people and stuff. But if Tyloo wins now, he will raise the bar for me. But I still have him in, them boys that could coach real good when they got enough stars.
The only pushback I will say to that is not denying Erik Spoelstra as being an elite coach. I don't think anybody can dispute that. The fact that he can win with or be a serious threat with almost anybody, right? But at the end of the day, you still need superstars to win in this league because as much as he has done his job in getting them to compete, he still only won when he had Braun and Wade. So you, even in NBA history, the champions are usually the superstars. I would say the only team that didn't have more than one superstar or even two stars or whatever that has won would be the 04 Pistons.
Yeah.
I would say their 2011 team, he was a superstar, but I don't think that you could officially say he had any other star. And I would say the Rockets with Akeem Olajuwon. Like, he was the for sure superstar. Yeah. They had a lot of good role players, but generally speaking, you have two superstars or stars. So I believe that you need great talent to win still. I think coaching, being able to coach up lesser talent is a unique skill that is maybe not appreciated as much. And Spo definitely has that. Okay. But I think you still need great players in order to win.
Okay, well, I will concede that you still need good players to win. But to me, when they got Kawhi Leonard, what's his name? Paul George.
Westbrook.
I mean, Tyrannus cannot mess that up. I mean, if I try.
The only thing I will add to it is that I think it was a couple of years ago when they did have a lot of injuries. Tyloo didn't manage to get that team playing really well when a lot of the guys were hurt. I can't remember what year it was, but I do believe he did get them. I think he got them maybe to the first one in playoffs. But the team had a lot of injuries, and he was coaching that team really well without these stars. Yeah. And I would say the other thing with the stars, we thought Westbrook was almost irredeemable. He's playing that Lou has found a way to utilize him properly. So sometimes you have stars or pseudo stars, and even like James Harden, sometimes it's hard to get him to fit the right way. Dot had trouble getting him to fit the right way. I think you have to give Lou a little bit of credit to be able to get some of these guys to fit the right way, be able to get Harden and Westbrook to still fit on the same team with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and get them to perform at a really high level. Okay. Yeah, I would give him some kudos for that as well.
All right, I will give him a little bit for that, but I'm still not convinced. But everybody has an opinion. I know what they say about opinions. So the trade deadline, a lot of people stand pat like Lakers didn't do anything much. I think Warriors just had I think they changed a clear roster spot for somebody, some veteran they want to bring in. They seem to be looking at Porter, Otto Porter, to return. I don't know if he's going to get bought by Toronto though, but we'll see how that one goes. But those teams that stayed, Lakers and Warriors, do you think that they can make some noise now in the second half of the season?
I go first. It's funny to say because the Warriors have been playing slightly better. They've been playing better over the last couple weeks. Roles have been changed. Slight adjustments have been made. Klay Thompson came off the bench for probably first time. Like, he's not injured. This is his role thing. Like, for the first time probably in years.
Since it's rookie season, actually.
Yeah, decade exactly. So like that is, I thought that would be even more of an adjustment, and then he came out and had 35 points still off the bench in the first game. So, but with Clay, he always has those games where he could just pop off, right? The biggest thing for him is to be consistent, right, in this new role, adjusting, right, and seeing if he can contribute now off the bench. Wiggins and Kaminga have been playing good. Their rookie, can't pronounce his name properly. Begins with P, but he's been playing well. Thank you. He's been playing well. The only thing I'm interested to see is how roles will adjust when Chris Paul comes back. I think people forget Chris Paul is even on the team because
I forgot for a minute.
Exactly. So I'm interested to see how they look when Chris Paul is on when he comes back. I think when Chris Paul was playing, I think this was the only time ever that the Warriors were actually not a negative when Curry was off, which has always been a problem for them. So I'm interested in that regard. For the Lakers, I don't know how far they can get, because at the end of the day, I think you don't want to play a LeBron at any team in a playoff setting. Like, them are, well, Curry is one of those things, like, except for one or two teams who, like, I would say the Nuggets and the Clippers. I don't think they're that much concerned about the Lakers, maybe. Clippers have their number, and the Nuggets pretty much already beat them. But I think one of these younger teams, like the Thunder and the Timberwolves, or even the Kings, or whatever, I'm not sure if they want to play one of these veteran teams, like maybe the Lakers or the Warriors, assuming that they're getting already play a spot in the first round or even in a round, because they have the experiences. No, OKC and Wolves first time really, being contenders. Braun and them already have experience with that, so they're not a team that you really want to face. I'm not saying that they're going to win, but it could be an upset if they play.
What about you, Alan? What do you think? You feel the Warriors could make some noise?
No. You can move on to the picks. But sorry, seriously, but no, I don't think either the Warriors or the Lakers are. They both have been playing better. As we mentioned, I think a week or so ago, they got a lot of improvement internally because they didn't have a lot of room to make a lot of moves at the deadline. And the internal moves have been very good. The new lineup that Warriors have for Draymond at center, playing Wiggins and Kuminga together. When Kerr was saying that before, that you can't play those two together anymore. But playing them together with Looney off the floor seems to have unlocked both of those guys, that they actually are positive on the floor now. So they are playing better, but I mean, they're 10th right now. They're one game over 500. I'm not even certain that they are going to be able to knock off the Kings or the Mavericks for a 7 or 8 spot right now. I think the same thing with the Lakers too. I mean, and only one of those teams are probably going to get in at this point. So it's going to be a great playing matchup when both these guys play. But I only see one. So, but I only think one is going to make it, and whoever makes it, I think, like Keelan mentioned it, it's going to be matchup dependent. If they happen to match up with the Timberwolves or the Thunder, then yeah, they might have a good chance potentially at upsetting those guys. But teams are playing really well. They have to hold that their experience and whatnot can get them over the hump. But Timberwolves got a little bit of experience last year. That's going to help them. Thunder also got a little bit of experience too. So I'm not even sure that's going to be enough. So I think they would have to. We will see as this last 30-game push goes on. But to me, they would have to play really well to like maybe get into the 7th or 6th spot. And then you'll need some decline from the Pelicans and the Mavericks. But Pelicans and Mavericks are playing really well too. Mavericks were really good after they did that trade for PJ Washington as well. So yeah, I think they're going to make a good effort, but I think they're going to fall short.
So just to let you give you some notes here, the play-in, right as it stands today, would be Dallas, Sacramento, Lakers, and Warriors. And to be honest with you, I can't pick two people that will go up. I can't say, okay, well, Lakers and Warriors will go up. I mean, because the epic battles they have between the Kings and the Warriors and Lakers and Dallas. And Dallas really playing well now. So the decline of a couple of teams, probably if Phoenix hit a bump or if New Orleans just fall off the cliff or something, I can see two of them getting in. But right now, the also our purpose would be to Lakers to be able to get in. Because right now there are 3 games behind Pelicans, but Warriors is 6 games behind Pelicans. 7 games, 6 games behind Pelicans. So it will be difficult for the Warriors and the Lakers. They will feel, oh, we got experience at playoff time, blah, blah, blah. All that pretty thought is, comes. Remember that playing is not a 7-game series. A fellow only got to play 2 good games, and that's the end of you. So
they want good games sometimes.
Yeah. So we gotta see what is gonna happen with that with the two of those things. But it will be interesting going forward for the next 30 games. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Notice I'm not betting on them. Just let everybody know. I'm not. If you had to ask me, I'm not saying that they go through. I'm saying there's a possibility.
Yeah, everybody says there's a possibility.
There's a possibility. If I had to bet money, no. But listen.
There's a possibility. There's possibilities in everything. But the probability that they get in look kind of slim.
Yeah, very low.
Right. So, of course, you cannot go anywhere without having our pick 5. And last week was a really good week for one out because he got 5 out of 5. And a couple other people struggled. I will not say who.
I thought we're negative.
I think Alan got 3 out of 5, and Keelan really didn't struggle. He got 4 out of 5. So this week, Saints is another short week. We start on Thursday. Detroit at Indiana.
Panthers next.
Indy, of course.
Yeah. I don't think anybody going against Indiana on this. And
No,
then on the same Thursday, the LA Clippers versus OKC.
Ooh.
So the Clippers are at OKC.
That'd be tough.
That's a real that's a real pick in there. Ooh.
Yeah. I can get Clippers.
You can go with?
I get Clippers.
Okay. So Keelan go on Clippers. What about you, Alan?
I'll go with the home team, OKC.
Okay. Alan going with the OKC. I get OKC too because I don't really believe in Tyronn Lue.
Stay on message.
Yeah, I gotta stay on message. Toronto at Atlanta. Battle of the Scrubs.
Man, once again, I hope Raptors win so I can keep my pick, but Atlanta, I don't know. Both of these teams so mid. Is it mid off? I give it the Hawks, man.
You give me the Hawks?
Yeah.
But you, Alan?
I go Hawks though.
All right. I give it Toronto.
Just a mid battle.
There's no real analysis or anything. It's just going because you 2 all over that.
There's no analysis with these mid teams. They literally just pick one.
Pick one and hope for best.
One and hope for best.
Right. And then there's Milwaukee and Minnesota.
Ooh.
That's a big one.
That is. I can go with the Wolves.
You going with Wolves?
Yeah.
Go with you, Alan.
Yeah, I go Soda as well.
I mean, honestly, I go in there too because I have no love for Doc Rivers. And the final game, this is Saturday.
Pushing that narrative.
Yeah, keep it on message. And the final game on Saturday is Boston at New York.
Ooh.
Boston at New York.
Boston.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This is the one that you go on a limb. I can say the Knicks.
You gonna say Knicks?
I can say Knicks, yeah. I want to see that. You can see Knicks, man.
All right, let me see. I give him Boston. And that is the 5 in the pick 5. And we had some analysis on the NBA. And for right now, the court is adjourned.
Good morning.